Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Thirsty Vapor, and we're here today to see why you'll drip Kremo's Apple Tart powered by Hyperviscomatic. But first, a little rundown.
Apple Tart by Kremo, a sweet pastry vape topped with a light applesauce glazed with powdered sugar. Apple Tart comes in 50 ml plastic bottles and is available in 3 and 6 mg nicotine. Truly a tasty vape sauce.
Alright, now that all that boring stuff is out of the way, let's talk about the important bit. What do I think about Kremo's Apple Tart? I will be using two setups for sampling this juice. And I'll be using a cloud chasing setup and my flavor chasing setup. For my cloud chasing setup, I have here a Surge by VHO. On top of it is a Haze by VHO. Inside the Haze, I have here a macro coil of Omega Wire 21 gauge, that's a nichrome. 7 wraps. For my flavor chasing setup, I have here a Lava Box M from Volcano E6, and we have here a Nexus RTA from Sector 1. Inside the Nexus, I have here an A1 Canthal build, a micro coil, around 7 wraps each. It's firing at around 3.3 ohms, and I'm firing at around 45 watts. Oh, but by the way, mind you, we do have videos for both the Lava Box M and the Nexus. So, give that a view, if you please. Right, let's get into it. First off, the flavor. Well, on my cloud chasing setup here, which is my preferred setup, I'm not a cloud chaser, but I like them drippers, I am detecting the apple for it, and the inhale specifically is very, very prominent. But it's not one of those bright green apple flavors we usually get from apple flavored juices. No, this is like one of the mature, very dark red apples. Well, then again, we do expect it for pasty flavors. Now, this does not say anything on the bottle about it having cinnamon, but I don't know if it's because of the apple flavor reminding me of the cinnamon, or is there actually a secret hint of cinnamon in there. But it's a pleasant surprise. It's very, surprising. On the exhale, they do say on the flavor description that it has a bready tone for the crust. Now, here's the thing. When someone says to me, dude, this is apple tart flavor, I immediately think the crust on that flavor would be a crispy crust, a really buttery finish. But, not to say it's not buttery, but it's more of like a brioche note, a very bready note. It's very round, it's very robust. It's not delicate whatsoever, for me. Oh yeah. On the tanks, however, well, you'd expect it to be more of a flavorful hit. Well, it is, mind you, but it's a different kind of vibe. Ooh, what do I mean? It's a bit more round. It's definitely a bit more sharper, comparatively speaking, with the drippers. With the tanks, it's a bit more blunt. It's a bit more meaty, is what I want to say. Definitely you'd get that another experience on the inhale, but on the exhale, it's very similar. Ooh. Even with that mouth-lung hit, you get that round, bready, smooth apple goodness with a bit of cinnamon in there. Just a hint. For the aftertaste on this specific juice, the apple tart, I gotta say it surprised me. So when I usually have vapes, let me tell you a story. When I take the inhale, I take a flavor, the initial flavor of course. When I do the exhale, I get that secondary flavor. For this specific one, it's supposed to be the apple first, then the bread crust tone. On this juice, it's surprising because the secondary taste on the exhale, I'm not getting that in the aftertaste. No, more so on tanks. I'm getting that apple tone on the end, aftertaste, which for me, it gets me thinking, man, I gotta take another hit of that. Yeah, whoa. Another hit. It makes you keep going on for more and more because of the apple taste. It's so bright. Bright and it's hard to explain. You gotta taste it. Talking about how close is it to the flavor description. It's pretty spot on. All except for that cinnamon undertone that they don't mention, but who am I to say? It might not actually have cinnamon, it just reminds me of a cinnamon tone. But from the light applesauce flavor to the bready tone, I get all of that. That little powdered sugar glaze, it's sweet enough to make me think it's powdered sugar. It's really, well, accurate for the flavor description. Talking about uniqueness of the flavor, when someone comes up to me and says, dude, taste this juice, it's apple tart, I immediately think, man, apple tart, that's an old flavor, that's not very unique, it's not new. But their take on the apple tart, for me, is a new twist on an old classic. That bready tone on the end makes me think it's surprising. It's not one of those boring old flavors na everyone has tasted. No. The only thing similar to here for other companies is the apple. And after that, it's all new. I can't say it enough, man. That bready tone, it's a great touch. It makes all the juice rounder, more rich, meatier in the taste. To sum it all up, basically, it's an old flavor, a new take, a new approach, and I like that. Okay, now talking about the throat hit. For me, this is the most important part of the review because I'm a throat hit kind of guy. I love that throat hit. But Kremo is consistent for me on throat hit. How are they consistent, you say? They are always on point. Let me show you what I mean. This is the 3mg and this is the 6mg. Look how dark that is. Come on. They are solid on the throat hit. It's never that sharp, scratchy throat hit like you're vaping a cat. No, for their 3mg, it's a bit more of a mild throat hit, but it gets you going. For their 6mg, whoo! Man, that is that solid throat punch that me personally, I love. On the tanks, it's also not a short throat hit. It's always a rounded, blunt throat hit. Woo! Now, I gotta remind you, saying that, it's not really for cloud chasing. But doesn't say you can't cloud chase it. If you can take the nicotine, this is the juice for you, man. I'm telling you. Talking about if it's a heavy vape or a refreshing vape. I've been saying for a while now that this has a rich, dense, meaty flavor. But because of that powdered sugar note and, of course, that apple note, it gives it enough acidity and sweetness to make it refreshing. So it's a well-mixed balance. But if I had to decide, like, is it a dense vape, a meaty vape, or a refreshing bright vape, it's more on that darker vape. But it's refreshing enough to make you hit it again and again. Which is weird. It's a contradictory thing. But it's so well balanced. Woo! Is it an all-day vape? For me. No, it is not. It's more of that treat vape. That vape you go to when you get home after a day or maybe when you're playing on your computer. It's a good vape. But I don't see vaping this juice for like 12 hours straight when you're up and about. Why? Because for me, it is a pastry vape. For me, pastry vapes aren't really that all day refreshing. I need some nicotine kind of vape. No, it's more of that treat vape. Like I said, it's more of that I deserve this. Sort of, it's an indulgence because it's so rich, it's so fruity at the same time. It gets a bit tiring on the tongue. But in saying that, it doesn't mean I can't vape it for extended periods of time. Like I could vape this for like maybe say maybe 4 to 6 hours max. I'd still go through a bottle by like 3 days, but that's just my vape pace. It might be different for you. Let's talk about the important bit for them cloud chasers out there, my fellow cloud chasers out there. Vapor production. Now, this juice specifically is a 70-30. And I know this. Now, this is not going to be competitive for them 80-20s out there or for them 100% VGs out there, but it is decent. Let me show you. The juice is thick enough to produce good, decent sized clouds. And it is enough for you to get that good, meaty, dense mouthfeel. For those tanks, for those flavor chasers out there, it's the same. Now, that's not an amazing cloud by any means, but the mouthfeel when you draw and you exhale, you know you're vaping. You know this is a good ratio of VG and PG. Let's talk build friendliness. Now, I'm not sure if that's an actual phrase or an actual word, but we're making it so right now. Build friendliness, if it's how bad is the gunk? Literally, how bad is that gunk? Now, for the purpose of this review, I've been vaping this same juice for around 2 days by now. Not extended periods of time, like 6 hours per blast. And what I've noticed is, I haven't changed cotton or wire, by the way, because I'm a slob, but that wire is clean. That wire and that cotton has not degraded much. Now, it has darkened, but it hasn't caked over, which for me is a big plus. It means if you actually like this juice enough to vape it all day, every day, it's gonna take a long time for you to rebuild. It's gonna be down to your decision if that's dirty enough, which, in my experience, it takes a while. It takes a decent amount of time for it to gunk up. And that's a plus for me. Right. Oh, now my final thoughts on Kremo's Apple Tart. Now, first off, I have to mention this. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but these bottles are rated at 50 ml. Now, at 50 ml, most juices will only reach up to here at the neck. But for Kremo, they go all the way up. There's not even a bubble in there. So for me, that's a plus. Flavor-wise, it is spot on. It is just the right amount of refreshing and meaty and dense and heavy and creamy to give you that worth flavor. It's very flavorful. That cloud chasing density, you saw it on the videos. Let me show you again. Oof. It's enough. It is satisfactory. So for me, everything about it is a win. You might be thinking, Rain, you've been talking about this juice hella lot and you've been talking it up. Where can I get my hands on this tasty, tasty vape sauce? And let me tell you, online, it is available for sale on thirstyvapor.com, or if you're in the Philippines or anywhere with Hyperviscomatic in their country, it is available at your nearest store that carries Hyperviscomatic. In saying that, this has been it for Kremo's Apple Tart, powered by Hyperviscomatic, and this is Thirsty Vapor, reminding you, stay thirsty. Thanks for watching our video, guys, and if you have any comments, any suggestions, any questions, leave them in that comment section below. And please, by the way, leave some love for our boys at Kremo. Go to their Facebook page, drop them a like. And if you want to learn more, see more, and watch more Thirsty Vapor, hit that subscribe button. And please, if you have some time, go to our shop online, thirstyvapor.com. Again, peace!